Broadcasting on AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota, as well as WCPT 820, Chicago's Progressive Talk. It is the Matt McNeil Show, brand new to you, holiday edition. Thank you very much for being with us today. We record out a whole bunch of great interviews, and you get to enjoy it. It is our gift for you. Thank you very much for listening, and we're hoping you're all having a great holiday out there. It is an absolute privilege and a treat to welcome Austin Durry onto the show. Austin Durry is in the band Durry, and if you do not know them, you do need to know them. They are phenomenal, and it has been a lot of fun over the last few years watching their success get bigger and bigger and bigger, and they're just back in town here in Minneapolis and St. Paul after a nice tour across the country, and he's kind enough to join us to talk about that as well as other things that he noticed doing the tour. Austin, as always, thank you very much. I really appreciate the time.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Let's chat.
Let's chat, first of all, about the tour. Congratulations on that. You guys played, the last time I talked with you, we talked about how you graduate to the bigger cities. Now, you graduated, you sold out a lot of your shows across the country, right?
Yes, we did, yeah. I think, I guess I'm not really sure how many it was, but it was like a lot of them sold out. A lot of them sold out like the night that we did it too. And yeah, it was an incredible tour, like unbelievable. Was not expecting it to go as good as it did.
Is there a market? Obviously, you've got your huge local fan base here in Minneapolis, St. Paul. Was there any big market that you went around and you're like, boy, these guys really like us?
Yeah, every time we've been to like Portland and like Seattle and Denver, they've all been like, hugely responsive cities. All those places we were playing like 500-600 cap rooms, and we sold them all out. And just massively supportive fans. And we sold out London too, which is a pretty big room. And it's been wild. I mean, our support locally is obviously like next level, but there's people all over the place that have been just incredibly supportive of us. So it's been awesome.
For the people in Chicago that might not know you, I wanted to go a little background here on you because I stumbled on you. You during the pandemic, you played in bands around here in town. You and your sister started putting out music while the pandemic was going on because all the clubs shut down. No one was playing music anywhere. You started doing stuff at home, and under the name Durry, you started putting stuff out on social media, and it just clicked and went nuts.
Yeah, it was a crazy breakthrough we had of really just switching up the kind of music that I was making, switching up kind of our whole mindset about making music, and something clicked, and it's been a rocket ship ever since.
There has got to be some interesting thoughts you have on working with a family member because there's a lot of people like myself that, working with my wife, working with a family member, I don't know how well that would go. And it's not that I want to be like a 1970s businessman and I don't see them at all during the day. I like being around them. They're good people. But, how has it been working with your sister? I believe, you're not mistaken, your wife's in the band as well, correct?
Correct.
Talk a little bit about that because obviously it is a very much a family focused thing.
I feel like my sister and I, we kind of figured out that we actually are just like really, really similar. Like our creative process is really similar, and we really sync up a lot in that way. So we kind of found that working together is like it's like having two of the same person, kind of. So we have like the same problems and weaknesses, and then double the same strengths. So it's not always the most productive because we're both pretty like ADHD and stuff, and we'll have the same the same attention span problems and things like that. But I mean, honestly, it's been incredibly smooth, and we pretty much sync up on stuff and like work together to find compromises when we disagree on stuff, and then it's also been awesome having my wife in the band too, with when we're on the road and all that kind of stuff. She's very complimentary to my weaknesses and strengths, and so when we're on the road, we need more of that balance and more of that a more administrative mind and things like that my wife really does great. And yeah, so I mean, when we're on the road, I think it's been awesome to have a crew that's mostly family, and we all just when you're on tour, you become a family anyway. So might as well have it be the real deal.
Hey, your wife is your bass. How appropriate is that?
Yeah.
Done.
Exactly.
Now, you had a lot of experience playing music. You brought that to the band. How much experience did your sister have in bands at that time? Has this been a pretty big and quick learning curve for her?
Yeah, definitely. We both learned guitar. My dad taught us both guitar when we were kids. But I mean, our first show was her first time on stage ever, and her first time singing ever too. So yeah, she came in very cold, has picked it up really quick. She's learning a lot really fast. Yeah, she's just kind of been like in it from day one, trying to, get better and get more confident and get more comfortable on stage and stuff. And yeah, we're still learning. We're still trying to get better at it. But yeah, she has come a really long way. And my wife Ashley has too. She learned bass in the pandemic. Like, she'd never played a stringed instrument before. And she picked it up just for fun, just because we had time. And then all of a sudden she's full time on tour and just really jumping into it, head first. And yeah, so they've both been just learning so much and getting so much better all the time. And yeah, it's been awesome.
The congratulations on the sold out First Avenue. That's actually a huge hurdle, not just for local bands, but national bands, international bands playing First Avenue and selling it out. I'm not mistaken. Did your dad join you on the stage with the trumpet?
That's correct. Yeah, we wanted to give him a little moment in the sun, yeah, we always like to have a guest horn spot on our song Judgment Day, and so we thought it would be fun to have him come up. And then also we have this really cool custom backdrop, and our mom actually made that, and it's the house from our album cover.
Yeah,
but it was like a 3-dimensional actual house prop with built-in perspective and lights and all this cool stuff she did. So yeah, it was really cool to have our parents involved in this creative project.
You as well, you just had you had an album come on out. You've had a ton of singles coming on out as well. Obviously, once again, as you've ramped into this, and I can't tell you, like I said, I am so happy you guys are having this success. You deserve so freaking much. The whole, it's been a learning process for you too, because you played in bands, but nothing ever came close to anything like this. The whole process of re-recording, working with better engineers, better equipment, stuff like this, doing the tour. how has that been for you?
Yeah, it's definitely been a big learning curve for me too. Mostly about letting other people work on stuff, and because with all my bands, it's always been DIY, to the max, where I'm doing every layer of everything is something that I have my hands directly in, and it's been a really great process. Getting to know the industry more, getting to know people more, and kind of letting go of some of those things to the more qualified people to take over on engineering and booking and some of that stuff. Whereas we still get to keep, we made sure to keep the reins on everything creative, everything about our marketing. I still design all of our merch and all that kind of stuff. All those things I think are important to our identity as a band.
Yeah,
I still keep a super super tight lid on that, and that's all totally DIY. But the things outside of my skill set, those are the things that have been really great to let go of. Let the professionals come in and make it its best.
Suburban Legend, that came. When did that officially come on out? The album there with your music on it.
I should really know the date.
A few months ago.
Have it in my mind. A couple months ago.
Yeah, a couple months ago.
The point is, it's out. So.
Yeah, the LP. You've sold out of the LP. You talk about creative merch. The Suburban Legend cassette and N64 case, which, by the way, I have one at home myself. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And of course, CDs. Actually, your music is available. Durry, Durry. It's available pretty much everywhere in regards to iTunes and places like that. Correct?
Correct. Yep. We're all over. We're now when you Google Durry, we're the whole first page. So
that's a good thing. That is very cool.
Yeah.
I've noticed that too. You talk about merch, and there is some of the things like the fingerboards that you have come up with. I mean, you capture. I've said that I think you're the best band for late millennials, Generation Z yet. I saw you guys, and when I say that is this, not only do I really get the conveying that you're conveying for your time, your voice there, but you're doing it so well that people who are not in that age bracket hear it and can understand and get it as well. And so I greatly appreciate that. But your understanding of creative and fun merch is off the freaking charts, dude.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I think it's really important to especially with like clothing, to wear your own merch. I know that's like kind of taboo, but I feel like the more you wear it, the more you get a feeling for like what is cool, what makes me feel good wearing it, and then you get a better handle on the design. And honestly, yeah, I'm just making stuff that I want, that I think is cool, and our audience is, essentially me. So I'm just doing stuff I think is cool, and everyone else seems to be connecting with it too. So yeah, it's been awesome.
And like I said, and you're resonating there because it's got to be fun going to in these places and seeing these big crowds with all your merch and all that stuff on them. And that's just got to be so much fun.
Yeah, it's great. We at our shows we'll see whole crews in like matching yellow stuff, and they all or people make their own merch, or somebody made a like Lego L hand, which is like our logo, and gave it to me. And like, I don't know, we love seeing all the creative things that fans do, like interpreting our logos and our themes and stuff like that into their own creative projects. I think that's just the coolest thing.
Austin Durry is joining us. Let's take a break. Come back. I want to talk about an article that you're quoted in about life on the road and merch. Austin Durry joining us. It's the Matt McNeil Show.
Hoping for a chance to talk.
It is the Matt McNeil Show. Austin Durry from the band Durry is kind enough to join us in Chicago. You're listening. Go find their music. It is absolutely exceptional. I cannot recommend it enough. Austin, I want to bring up an article that you were quoted in. It's on the online magazine Racket. And you and a bunch of other Minneapolis, Minnesota-based bands were talked a little bit about touring and then merchandise. And first of all, I want to touch on touring because I found it to be interesting. I watched the Canadian band Rush. They did their documentary, and they talked about the first years of touring, and it was horrible for them. It sounds like, really, I mean, as much fun as it is to get out there and see the audience, the whole act of touring, loading up the van, going town to town, it's exhausting, and it's a lot of stress and a lot of effort. Yeah,
touring is like, it's honestly just kind of a marathon of physical work and mental, and it's also like this weird thing where there's no middle ground. It's like you're sitting in a van and you're bored all day, and then all of a sudden you load in heavy gear, play a show, and it's like bam, 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 and then you go to sleep. And then wake up and do it again, where you sit in a van for 8 hours and don't do anything, and then do it again, all full throttle. And yeah, it's definitely taxing. We have run into many illnesses, but this was the most intense illness tour we've ever had with. But we love to meet the fans, and so we always try and go out into the audience and meet fans, and that's where we get sick. So I'm not sure if we're going to be able to keep doing that.
Well, it's a
but,
commitment.
yeah.
You're making the commitment, man, and it's easy to see that you go on out there because there might be something going around, and as you said, Portland or San Francisco. It's not like you get out there and all of a sudden your Minnesota vibe isn't ready for that. So I know that's something that people that do a lot of traveling that's something that bears down on them.
Yeah, definitely.
What was your savior? I mean, was there something that you kind of looked forward to that kind of got you through the tour days?
Yeah, I mean, we love playing shows. We love what we do, and whenever there's like hard points or hard moments, you just kind of reflect on the great moments and the great moments to come and all those kinds of things. And yeah, I mean, every night we get to do what we love the most, and honestly, talking to fans is a huge uplifting thing for us too. We love just meeting everybody and hearing the stories of how the music has affected them and all those kinds of things. And that's always super encouraging for us too. So it's kind of a bummer to let go of some of that, but also if we can avoid getting sick, then we're going to have to. So, but yeah.
Is there another tour planned for the upcoming year?
So we have them like makeup shows. We had to drop, I think 5 shows from this tour because I got the flu near the end, and I was down really hard for like 2 weeks. Yeah, we have a bunch of shows scheduled in June that are makeup shows. One of them is Chicago, playing Lincoln Hall on June 3rd. And yeah, so that'll be like a little mini run. Have a couple big festivals. We can't announce those yet, but we are working on some big festivals. Yeah, probably gonna do some kind of a follow-up European run next year at some point.
Cool.
Too. So,
oh man,
yeah,
that's amazing.
A lot of things are moving, but.
Wow. All right. So there was one element of that Racket article that I really was floored by because I was always gone in. I'll go see Durry at a concert. I'm like, okay, I know you're having to pay a cut of the ticket sales and all these things. I'll go buy the merch because I know that money is going to you. And then I find out that this has been for years. The venues take can be a substantial cut of the merch sales as well. Correct?
That's correct. Yeah. A lot of the bigger venues across the country will take a big merch cut, and it's a bummer because there's no accounting for the price of making the merch. So it's just like the cut just comes from your profit on the top end, and it can be very substantial. Like it's brutal. Yeah, and it's kind of a weird thing where like. There's no like way out of it, kind of like it's these are the biggest venues in town. They kind of have the chokehold on everything, and yeah, so it's, honestly most of the time there's not really another option other than just paying them, or you don't pay them, but then you're probably not going to get invited back either, so you don't want to burn bridges, and yeah, it's tough. I don't know.
Well, and there's really only one way around this, and that is I'm going to encourage people to go to durrymusic.com, DURRY music.com. They've got their merch there because if you buy it from, and not just you, but any artist, you buy it from their webpage, that money goes to the artist then.
Correct. Yep. That is that's the best way around any kind of fees or anything like that is just go direct to the source.
It doesn't surprise me to a point because there is this tendency. There are certain careers that people who, that love to do them. Teachers, musicians, radio broadcasters. Yep. There's all these things. And there is a tendency of saying, well, if you love doing it, then we're going to make it hurt to do it because we know you like doing it. And that's a hard thing. But I mean, at the same time, as you were talking about the payoff you get, and as your success gets bigger and bigger, I mean, you're getting played in a lot of different places now. You're getting played on a lot of different networks. This is, as like I said, as it's new territory for you, the payoff, although you have to work within the machinations of the industry itself, it makes it worth it. Right,
definitely. Yeah, there's all the personal payoff is always the most rewarding part of just doing what we love. And at the end of the day, it's like the venues and the industry and all those things, I am looking for a different experience than they are looking for from me. They're looking for money. I'm looking for the experience of making music and affecting people and all those kinds of things. So, you know, at the end, it's like we're working with different currency. But yeah, there's the music industry, which is selling the music, and then there's the other music industry, which is you know, making money from the artists themselves. So kind of two sides of the same coin, you know.
Is there another? Have you guys started working on the next album yet?
Yeah, I mean, I have too many songs. Like the last album, we had 17 songs recorded, and we cut it down to 12. And I have 23 songs demoed up right now, so we're way ahead of schedule. But I'm just going to keep writing songs, and we'll pick the best ones, and yeah, we'll get it going.
Once again, Austin, this is, I remember calling you the first time and saying, do you want to get on? And it's been so much fun watching your career, the meteoric rise of it. Durrymusic.com, Durrymusic.com. Buy all their merch. Their merch is cool. You want to be cool with your kids, go buy their merch and give it to them. You'll be instantly cool. Durrymusic.com. Chicago, Lincoln Hall, June 3rd. Go see them when they're in Chicago, for goodness sakes, and keep an eye on out. Go get the album. Go get their new album when it comes on out, and support them because Durry is fantastic. Austin Durry from Durry. I can't tell you how much I appreciate the time today. All my best. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
We'll take a break. It's the Matt McNeil Show.